Naga Manchetti.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Good afternoon to you. It is 19 minutes to 1 o'clock. At the start of this programme at 11, we were talking about knife crime and how to solve it. Now, the Labour Party, the government, has pledged to make reducing knife crime its moral mission, promising to halve offences in a decade. It comes after two teenage boys have been charged with murder after a 13-year-old boy was stabbed in his own home in Oldbury in the West Midlands. Well, one of the members of Mums United Sheffield has been in touch and said we should speak to the founder of the group, Sahira Irshad, who I'm pleased to say joins us now. Sahira, hello.
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Tell me about how the group came about.
Yeah, so Mums United is a charity that was created about 7 years ago, and it was born from mothers who were seeing their children and seeing young people in our communities engaging in not only antisocial behaviour, but we're carrying knives, we're engaging in gang activities, and we were all worried and concerned about our youth. What started off as a initial kind of coffee morning, we pretty much early on decided that we wanted to do something tangible, something that makes a difference. And so over the 7 years, we've been holding campaigns to kind of push the message that prevention is important in engaging with our young people. And so we hold workshops across the 7 years. We have in the past year created our own community centre. We changed the derelict building into a community centre and a community gym where the young people come and engage in educational workshops, looking at the dangers of knife crime, looking at the consequences, looking at self-defence, conflict resolutions, and about building self-esteem and resilience in our youth.
What do you make of Labour's pledge to halve offences in a decade? We spoke about this a lot in the first hour about how possible it is. What do you think?
I think that, this is a problem that has been going on for a very long time. Whilst we welcome the pledge, I think that, it's coming a little bit too late. This is something that should have happened years ago. And, I look forward to seeing what exactly they are pledging to do. We have always spoken about the fact that, we need increased funding in our youth services, which have been decimated. We have spoken about creating protective factors for our young people when they embark in that transition from childhood to adolescence. Where are their support networks? They have dissipated. So for me, whilst it's great that they are pledging it, but what is the tangible things that they are going to do? Are they going to plunge funding to grassroots organisations into the communities, not just the statutory organisations? We need a community-based approach. They need to come into our communities, work with us, and put resources in where it's needed.
Okay, and how, if that happens, there's no bottomless pit, is there? So, and there'll be various grassroots organisations fighting for funding, understandably. Yeah. So how do they get picked? How does, the limited pot kind of go round?
I think that from my perspective, I think that, what is important is we need a preventative approach. And what the government needs to look at is, what can we do? What can we do something that's immediate? And that is by making sure we have youth services, we have our youth clubs back up and running, and have funding available for grassroots organisations and have enough funding there so that organisations don't fight amongst themselves to get that small pot of funding. There has to be, a positive step in making sure that the resources get to where the need is. So maybe looking at the hotspot areas, looking at where this money is needed, and also changing the approach. Having educational workshops in schools where we are talking about knife crime and we are educating our young people about the dangers of knife crime, and looking at what do the young people want? What activities do they want to engage in that will keep them off the streets and in a safe place.
It's very similar to what we were hearing in the last hour, really. It's, it is about making sure that the groups like yours have the funding to access these children and get messages through. And I should say, the children that you work with have made a documentary that's going to appear in the Showroom Cinema in Sheffield this Sunday.
Yeah.
So, let's hope that the message keeps getting through and we hear fewer and fewer of these. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sahira Irshad.
Sahira Irshad.
Thank you so much, Sahira. Thank you.
Thank you.
Time now is 12:47. We've got some